added. It is the Sonic Mist Ultrasonic Diffuser, as well as 2 different scents of essential oils. So what is the actual refresh? Well, if you go to Tupperware.com, you can see the digital version of the catalog. So I wanted to make sure that I had it here so you could see it, because since we basically added a few pages to the catalog, some of the other page numbers kind of change. So I just wanted to make sure that you knew that. So this is what the new catalog cover looks like. And we're putting the focus on the diffuser and the essential oils. So the digital version will have a different cover. And whenever you see this, it just means that it has the Tupperware home products added, okay? And then as you scroll down, everything stays the same, but right before the kitchen tools, you have the Tupperware home section, which is the new category. Make sure I have it here so you can see it. And then you see here that we have a very beautiful lifestyle picture, as well as the product with some features and benefits and the 2 essential oils. So I wanted to address that real quick because I've been with a company officially 3 years. I was an intern for 2 years before that. And it could be, I'm not sure. I don't think, if there's anyone that's been in the business for a really long time, make sure you comment down below. I'm pretty sure we've never done a catalog refresh like this. So I keep saying it's the first ever catalog refresh, but it's really the only one that I've done. So I wanted to make sure that you guys understood where I was coming from. So, okay, I have the diffuser here with me, and I wanted to show you guys, because if you don't have a sample of it at home, I feel like it looks a lot bigger in person than it did in the images. So I do have it here. I don't have it connected. I do have the plug right there, as you could see. And if you've seen any of my videos, you know that I have this pretty plant next to it. It's because I'm always hiding this plug right here because I hate the plug. So I'm always covering it with a pretty plant. So that's a little tip for when you're doing your social media videos. If you don't like something in the background, just put a plant over it. So I have it connected here, and I'll connect it in a minute. I want you to be able to see it up close and personal. So it is bigger than, I feel like it looks bigger. It is bigger than it is featured in the catalog as far as proportion. Like, I feel like when I saw it, it looked a lot smaller to me. So this is it. It's just a cover that goes right on top of it. Of course, I say right on top of it, and then I'm like, okay, I can't close it. So you can see, you can move around the Tupperware home, but you always want to make sure that it's centered right here. So then you have the buttons right there in front of you. Now the buttons do have little pictograms on top of them. One looks like a little sun. The other one is a fan. And then the last one, it's the mist on it. Let me see if I can, oh, you can see it. Okay, cool. So something really important whenever you have the diffuser is you want to make sure that you check out the booklet that comes with it. Not only does it have all the languages, which is great, but it has a lot of information, not just about usage, but it also has like some maintenance, troubleshooting issues, like troubleshooting tips, attention, ready to go. And I always forget what the buttons are for. Like, I'll be using it and I'll be like, wait, which is which? So it's a good little reminder too. So then you know, so it has all that information for you. And then as you keep going, it's just different languages. So, which is a really great thing to have, especially if you have a lot of consumers that are from different areas. So that way, one little booklet, all the information you need. But honestly, even if by any chance you lose this, it is really simple. So the first thing I'm going to do is, as you can see, it is white all around here. It has like a wooden grid here on the top, which is very trendy nowadays. I have a very minimalist, like, I love very minimalist looks, and this reminds me of that look. It's very clean, very sleek, very elegant. And so the way it works, you just have to connect. Here it has the adapter. You just plug it in. See, it gave you like a little beep, letting you know like, hey, I'm connected. And then this is the box. This is the box that came in for me. And now I did get one of the beginning samples. So I'm hoping that this is still going to be the same box that you receive, because it is very pretty, especially if you're doing a demonstration. It just looks very nice, and you can prop it on there, because right now I kind of had to figure out to make sure that you could see enough of me, but you could see the product and it wasn't super low. So using the box is a really good tip, especially when you're propping and you are on your on your social media parties. I have this very inconvenient cabinet right next to me, but it's okay. It's a love-hate relationship right there. That's where all my spices are. Okay, so we have here the diffuser. I'm just going to remove the cover just like that. You just pull it out. And so something very important is on the inside, whenever you are done using it, you can just take a microfiber towel and you can wipe it clean. It's very simple. You don't want to submerge it in water because it does have the connector for the outlet right there. And that's it. Like, that's it for cleaning. It's very simple. It does have a step all around the edge. You might be able to see it, but right there, but also right here. I'm gonna disconnect it again so I can get closer to you. It tells you that it has the drain side and it also has the maximum fill line. So the maximum fill line is also that same step that I showed you. See, as you can see right there, that's the maximum fill line. And it does have a cup for you to fill it with water. So I usually just fill it up to the top and then I make sure that I reach that step inside of the base. So on the inside, it also says that it has an air outlet right here. So that's the only thing that's the other thing that's there. And that's where the mist comes out of. So whenever you put the cover on, even though you can move it any way, you really want to make sure that that air outlet right there is really above this little hole right here. So the mist doesn't have to travel too much to escape and come out of that hole right there. So just put it on like that. So, okay, let me connect it again. All right. And now I have some water here in one of my tumblers because I want you to be able to just see the cup. Okay, we're gonna add the water. Always wanna make sure that you use it with water. Never try running it empty to make sure that you have it for a really, really long time. And now let's talk real quick about the essential oils. They are sold separately, 2 different types of scents. So this one, I found it really interesting and I even wrote it down because I wanted to make sure I said it the correct way. So the perfumers that we worked with to develop these 2 scents, they're from a company called Givaudan. Givaudan. That's Givaudan. I'll write it in the comments down below so you know. Top for perfumers. So when it comes to smells, there's always going to be like a top note, a heart note, and then a base note. So let's talk about Spring Bloom. So the Spring Bloom, the top note is chamomile. So top note being like the first thing you're going to smell. And then the heart note, which is the consistent smell, is geranium. And then the base note is sandalwood. I love the color that they chose for the packaging because it is very floral. It is very, I want to say it's almost feminine in a way, you know, like when you think of like flowers and just something very soft and elegant. That's the smell that this has here. So the packaging itself has a lot of information. It has 2 different languages. This type of essential oils that we sell, they're aromatic use only. So you only want to use them with the Tupperware diffuser. And it tells you other information on the side. It has more information on the back too. It tells you the ingredients and it also tells you how to use. So the recommendation is 5 to 8 drops. It just depends on how concentrated you have the smell. Now I will say that estimated on our studies, if you use about 6 drops, and you have like a run time of like about an hour every day, you can use that for up to 30 days, which is incredible. So if you've never used these little bottles that essential oils come in, they're kind of like droppers, I like to call them. And like the first time I used them, I was very impatient. Raise your hand if you're impatient like me. I know I'm working on it, but sometimes I feel like I am just running through life in such a rush. So that's the bottle. It looks really small. Let's compare it to the size of my face. Let's compare it to the size of this. Let's compare it to the outlet. But let me tell you, when it comes to essential oils, a little bit goes a long way. Especially when it comes to those drops, the smells are very potent. So I'm only going to do 6 drops today. You could do 8 if you want it to be very potent, or you could do less. 5 is the minimum that we recommend, but if you want to do a little bit less, you could do like 2 or 3 as well. So what I was mentioning about the dropper is you see how it has like a white opaque cap. So if you point it straight down, nothing's gonna come out. You have to do it at an angle, okay? So you wanna hold it at an angle and it's gonna start seeping through. The first drop is always what takes the longest to come out. But then, and it's especially because you want to make sure that you don't use too much. And I'm looking because I don't want to miss it. Okay, so we got the first drop in. Once you do the first one, the next ones will go faster. So I got 2, and you can see them as they hit the water too. 3, 4, come on. 5, and we're gonna do 1 more. I said I was gonna do 6, right? There we go. Okay. So you want to make sure that you're, paying attention when you pour it in, and that's just. They do that on purpose to make sure that you are maximizing, the use of the essential oils, that you don't accidentally pour too many in, okay? So we're gonna close them up. And I wanted to show you that it also has here the ingredients for you. And again, it tells you more. I was hoping that, okay, there you go. Now it's kind of, is it kind of, I was hoping that it would focus. It does have the how to use instructions again right there in English and in Spanish, which is great. So I want to get this closer to you. Oh no, I don't think you'll be able to see it. But anyways, you could see the drops of the oil in there. Like you could definitely see them. So if by any chance you're like, I can't remember if I added it in or not, you could definitely see. They're like a really light beige color. So we're just going to place our cover like that. See, I didn't have to do anything fancy. So now we have our 3 buttons. It does have technically 4 different timer modes. So here, these buttons, they say 60, 120, 180, and on. So the 60, the 180, the 120, that's referring to the amount of minutes that it can run. Now it also has the continuously running feature where it'll stay on until the water runs out. So it'll go on as long as it needs to. And that will depend on if you have low or high mist. If you have high mist, it'll run out faster. So sometimes even that 60 minutes is too much. So it really just depends on the amount of mist that you have on there. So, okay. So pressing the first button here, changing the color of the light. Now I don't know if you could see it from here. I have my ring light in front of me. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. And I wanna get closer to you. Why am I whispering? I'm here alone. I only have my little husky with me. She's asleep on the other side. So you know what, I'm gonna turn this all the way off. Okay, so when it comes to the light, you're gonna notice that it has basically 2 different types of lights. It's like the same color, but it's what we call the day and the night mode. So if it's the daytime and it is bright, maybe you want a lighter, softer color, but if it's nighttime, you want it to be stronger and maybe even illuminate part of your room. So that's why when you press it, it almost feels like it's the same color twice. Oh, if I put my hand here, you can kind of see that's like a reddish color. And then again, I have the green, and then it's always the light and then the lightest and then the darkest. I'm gonna try to get as close as possible here. I'll promise I'll get a different setup for our next class, okay guys? Okay, so you can see it there. And it's still off. I'm only turning on I haven't turned on the actual diffuser. I'm just playing with the lights. So see how you have 2 different modes and it's like blue, blue, but it's just the light blue, like the low light blue, and then the high light blue. And then that's my favorite, which is like a purple. Actually, that was more of like a royal blue before we had like a baby blue. And then this is purple. And then I also really like the white. This is just a very classic, clean look. So I'm gonna leave it there, and I have it on the higher one just because I have a lot of light right here and I want you to be able to see it. So now we're gonna press the second button here. Oh wait, let me press the first one first. I wanted to turn it on first, haha. Okay, so the first one, oh, I could smell it right away. And you could see the steam. Okay, I got a little too excited. Okay, is it because? Okay, perfect. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited that you could see it. Okay, so there we have the steam on. So you could see how the steam is going straight up. Okay. See, I kind of moved it around and like, okay. It doesn't come out hot or anything. It just feels like a cool steam. Okay, you see that? You see that difference? Wait, no, I turned it off. That's not what I meant to do. What am I pressing? Okay, I'm pressing it too much. Okay, there we go. Okay. So when you press it, it first starts with a very strong steam, and then it goes down to the softer. So, and you'll tell because of the shape of the steam. I keep calling it steam, but I guess it's technically mist what's coming out. So the reason why it's called the Sonic Mist Ultrasonic Diffuser is because what a diffuser does is it disperses that water in really, really, really tiny droplets into your room, making it really fragrant. And it's not like super obnoxious, I like to say, because it's not a really big steam. So these buttons, it's important also to note that they have like a long press and a short press feature. So when you're looking at your booklet, it'll tell you the amount of times that you have to press it. So it'll tell you like first press, second press, third press. So some of them are long. So if you saw me earlier, I did a long press, and see, like right now my light turned off. So I turn it back on there. And then now we're doing the middle one. And there we're changing the amount of steam that's coming out. And you could hear it. Can you guys hear that? You can almost hear like the water kind of moving about in there and dispersing. It's very, very relaxing. Now, when it comes to the Spring Bloom scent, this is the type of scent that we call, let me make sure I have my notes here correctly. Where is it? Okay, here, the Spring Bloom. So this is the type of smell, when I was talking before, like it reminds you of like flowers. It has the type of smell that it enables for calmness and serenity. So those are the smells that you have on here. And in here, right on the front, it tells you it's chamomile, it's geranium, and sandalwood. Whenever you think of chamomile tea. My mom growing up was always like, if you're stressed out, let me give you some chamomile tea. And she would actually buy a little jar that had little flowers in it, and it was like really pure. I loved it. So this is going to really calm you, especially if you've had a very stressful day. This is great for that. So then if, let's say like you're like, okay, I don't want that smell, or maybe I just want to change it to something else. When you're going to pour it out, remember earlier when I showed you the drain line, just make sure you pour it out through that drain line, and then just clean it with a microfiber towel. You can maybe even dampen the microfiber towel if you're just switching scents, and then add the Happy Breeze smell. Now, I really love the Happy Breeze smell, and it's because I really love when you have citrus smells. Like if I squeeze a lemon here, or a lime, or even an orange, I just love that smell in the house, in my hands, everywhere. So this has ginger, this has lime, this also has bergamot. Someone remind me, because I always forget how to say that word. So again, the same things apply when what I told you earlier about when you're pouring it out. Just make sure you pour it like at an angle to make sure they come out. And both of them are aromatic use only. So that is very important, and you pair them best with our Tupperware diffuser. Now, can you potentially get only the essential oils and maybe even just sell the essential oils but use a different diffuser? You can. But because this was designed in partnership with this, you know, they were not partnership, but they were designed to be used together. That's how we're able to determine the amount of drops that you put in there for your usage and how much smell you're gonna get. Even though you can use it with another type of diffuser, you might just get less use out of the bottles. So that's why we always recommend to put them together. But if you have a friend or anyone that just has a diffuser that they love, you can of course just sell them this and let them know these are aromatic use only. It says it all over the label too. And they could definitely use it. You just might just not get as much use out of it, because here with the amount of mist, we know that even on the high mist mode, you're only going to use like a certain amount, and you really want to maximize the use of your essential oils. So I think I've covered almost everything that I wanted to say. I did want to mention why we brought the Tupperware home category, because I know that everyone's questioning, you know, why are we bringing Tupperware home? Why are we going into essential oils, diffusers, and everything? Guys, did we not have like the craziest last 2 years? Like I almost feel like I'm kind of stuck in the 2019 mindset where I'm like, I still can't believe that this is the life that we live right now. But during 2020, there was everyone noticed, especially companies noticed, that there was a really big focus on home wellness. The home became the sanctuary. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, not only did my home become a sanctuary more than it was before, but I loved being home so much more, kind of because I had to. that I almost even prefer it now. Like even now we're easing up a little bit and making it a little bit safer to go to different places safely. I still feel like I prefer to be home. So we try to make home the best place that it can be. So a lot of the things, you know, that when you eat something, researchers say that a lot of the times when you're eating something, the reason why you love it so much is because you can smell it. There is so much that goes on into your smells. If you are eating a burger, have you ever eaten a burger when you have clogged sinuses and you can't smell it? Is that not the worst? Or maybe when you're getting a cold that you can't smell anything, it takes away from the taste of the burger. That's when we think about how important a good smelling home is. It changes your mood, it changes your senses. It could even change your day, because sometimes we're like in such a bad mood and we don't even know why. The Tupperware diffuser, like I honestly was never the type of person that had a diffuser. I don't even light many candles here a lot, but I really, really enjoy the diffuser. It has it's a very mellow smell. It's not super strong. It's not super obnoxious, like I said before. It's just very comfortable. It feels very normal around the house. It just feels very relaxing, very comfortable. And then if I do want it to be a little bit more like cleaning and I want the house to smell really good, I reach for my Happy Breeze. This is more invigorating. And what's the other word that we say a lot? Re-energizing too. So I always reach for this one. I really love ginger. I love the smell of ginger too. It just makes it feel really clean. And when we think of cleaning products, a lot of the time they come smelling like citrus. So this is the one that I reach when I'm cleaning, especially if I'm like mopping the floor, cleaning the cabinets. You know, that's the tragedy of having white cabinets.